Coming up, this is the Market Snapshot with Dan French. I have Greg Sinacori from Kilburn Kian CPA. I'm also going to talk about the housing market statistics. Also, we're going to talk about how oil affects mortgage interest rates right here on the Market Snapshot.
The opinions of the hosts on KDWN are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of this station, its management, or Beasley Media Group.
There is no middle ground in today's housing market.
We started seeing a climb.
Sales of existing homes rose sharply.
So the homes that have been selling are at a higher price.
Let's begin.
All right, in 3, 2, 1.
It's time to cut through the clutter.
Refinancing your home loan.
This is your source for the latest real estate and home financing news. You can actually use.
My prediction is that most predictions will be wrong.
It's the Market Snapshot.
Going live.
And now, here's your host, Dan French.
Thank you for tuning in to the Market Snapshot. This is Dan French from Nova Home Loans, your source for the latest information about home financing here in Las Vegas. In studio today, I have Chakits ITZ Krulsawat from Simply Vegas. How's Sunday going, Chakits?
Good. I'm hyped up.
Whoa. Greg, are you going to do the same thing? Are you going to try to compete with that?
No, just happy Valentine's to you, Dan. You're looking good today.
Thanks. We have Greg
What is that supposed to mean?
He gave me a Valentine's card. You didn't get one?
No.
Oh, my God. You're out of the loop, man.
I don't want one.
We have Greg Sinacori from Kilburn Kian CPA in studio today. He's going to talk to us about what time is it today? What time is it right now, Chuck?
It's tax time.
Tax time.
That's right.
And it's tax time with Greg Sinacori.
What does that mean?
Also, we want to let you know listening to the Market Snapshot is dedicated to helping you as a consumer to the best path to home ownership. We offer up-to-date content on the ever-changing Las Vegas market related to financing and real estate. Right, Chuck?
That's right.
Mortgage interest rates are declining. Cheap oil, the recent sell-off in stocks, and global economic troubles have provided concern enough that rate hikes may be delayed. Refi season is officially back for the time being. The talk of raising interest rates looks to be on hold for the foreseeable future. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which was birthed in 2010 to regulate an array of financial service industries, is controlled by the Federal Reserve. And Federal Reserve Board Chairwoman did not know anything about funding of $650 million towards the CFPB to help govern these financial service industries. Did you know this?
Yes, I did.
So, you have to ask yourself, what is being controlled and not controlled by our government? Well, what I do know is I know that money's cheap right now to borrow, and the refinance boom that was supposed to be locked away a year ago has now come back strong here at the start of 2016. If you thought you missed the refinance train, well, you're in luck. With historically low rates still, purchasing or refinancing a home could start you on making and saving a ton of money for years to come.
Well, when you're talking about saving a ton of money, like how much are we talking about?
We're talking about could be thousands of dollars.
Car payment?
Well, we're talking that's a monthly payment. I'm talking about years. Mm-hmm. You're talking about savings in upwards of maybe $10,000, $15,000, $20,000.
Wow, that's big.
That is big. Everybody out there, I just want to tell you we appreciate your listenership and making us part of your day. As always, it's a pleasure and a privilege to educate the Las Vegas community. Isn't that right, Nut?
That's right.
There you go. Coming up this first hour, we're going to discuss taxes with Greg Sinacori from Kilburn Kian CPA. And stay tuned for the second hour. We'll be talking about how oil affects mortgage interest rates. We're also going to be talking about housing market statistics and where that's heading. So let's go right into the market rundown. You ready for this, Chakits?
I'm ready.
Oh, honey, what are you going to rant about today? Can we get a little preview?
It's the market rundown.
We're always going to start off with financing news and events, go right into housing market statistics. Today we're going to talk to Greg Sinacori from Kilburn Kian CPA. We're going to go over the interest rates trending, and also we talked about this. Cheap oil means cheap interest rates. Did you know that, Chakits?
That's right.
And as always, our talk and text lines are open. If you have any questions, financing or real estate, give us a call in studio. 702-216-3907 is my direct line. You can call us in studio here 702-257-5396. Again, that number is 702-257-5396. If you have any questions financing or real estate, you can also text me 6682 to 55,000. And what that would do is it would give you a free IDX tool where you can search any home in the city, really anywhere. But if you're out looking and you don't want to have real estate agents consistently calling you, which I know Chakits, when you get a person that's a realtor that wants to call somebody, they attack it like it's a piranha.
Like it's white on rice.
Yeah, it's like, oh, is that a phone number? Oh, are they looking for a home? Oh, I'm all over it. 2-3 calls from realtors. Guess what? You could do this on your own. It's free. Text me, 6682 to 55,000. Also, you can tweet me if you would like at 781-NOVA. And you can call us outside studio. We have people standing by. I told them to stand by today. Sometimes they're taking naps. Told them they got to get on it today.
Yeah.
You can also visit my website. This is a new website that we created here at Nova Home Loans. It is danfrenchloans.com. I want you to go there, danfrenchloans, LOANS.com. You can see past shows. You can see educational shows. You can find out a little bit about me and what I'm about.
What you about?
I'm about the green. All right, let's go right into events. You got any events for me today, Chakits?
I was actually reading an article. Growing demands for apartment pushes rents up. Now, they were saying from 2000 to 2012, it's gone up about 6%. And I read another article as far as for a 2-bedroom apartment throughout the country, and I was looking up Las Vegas. An average is $1,200 for a 2-bedroom apartment. So that got me thinking.
Here in Vegas?
Here in Vegas. So at $1,200 a month for 2 bedrooms, how much purchasing power can you actually buy in today's market for a house?
Oh, I mean, you're looking at a $200,000 to $250,000 purchase home. That could be with
I don't even know why you guys are not buying right now.
Hey, it could be with a pool too. I mean, you might be buying it, Martin Luther King Boulevard for that pool, but you're still getting it. Greg, what about you? What's going on with you today? How you feeling?
I'm feeling well.
Yeah?
It is Valentine's Day. I'm starting to get that feeling. The blood is pumping.
Happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there.
Good deal.
See that?
Oh, I see a connection between these two. What's going on here?
Chuck, will you leave the room? Anyways, I want to say something about this, all right? So Valentine's Day, if you're out there and you're a guy, I mean, I get it. You got to do something. I mean, even if your girl says don't do something, they really are just probably testing you to see if you're going to do anything. I just go get, you don't have to get the chocolate and roses. Get something that she's going to like. Could be a $5 gift. You know what I mean? I don't know, but don't just say I don't celebrate it. You guys celebrate it, right, Chuck? What did you get your wife?
Nothing.
You didn't get her anything?
Oh, we've been together for like 15 years.
Yeah, but it's about the moral of it.
The moral of it's every day. It's just not that one day.
You got to spend.
See what I'm saying? We do it every single day. See, I'm a true man. That's right. How we do it.
You're holding it down, aren't you?
Holding it down.
You're a hard-nosed dude right there.
I'm out of here.
Greg, what'd you get for your wife? Anything?
Just a standard little stuff. A nice little card.
He didn't get her nothing.
Oh, God.
What'd you get her?
Little bit of chocolates. I went that route.
You know what you got? Yeah, go ahead.
And then for tonight, crab legs.
There you go.
Crab legs.
Are you cooking?
Yes.
All right. What time's dinner?
It'll probably be early, probably about 5:30. With the weather being like this, it's going to be nice outside, the back patio. I'll have the pool going, maybe heat up the jacuzzi.
You got room for 2 more?
Woo! You and Chuck going to join us?
Chuck,
no.
Chuck, he told you he's got crab legs. You don't want crab legs?
No, I don't want crabs, period.
If it was like... You know what you got to get your wife? If all else fails, give her that IOU card. Hey, this is a get out of jail free card for whatever it is. I'm doing dishes today.
Where did you get that from? Where'd you get that idea from?
Man, I've been looking.
Where did you get that idea from?
Hey, don't worry about it.
Where did you get that idea from?
What other news and events you got over here,
News and events. You know how Michigan with the water supply and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Well, I read an article here. It says 10 American cities that actually have the worst drinking water. Unknown to most Americans, surprising number of U.S. cities drinking water with unhealthy levels of chemical and toxin. In fact, some organizations in the state environmental agencies that collect and analyze water levels and chemicals that, Las Vegas, is actually ranked number 3.
Are we? We're ranked for everything, aren't we?
We're ranked number 3 for drinking water.
Good?
Not good.
Oh, not good.
Yes. But it's enough to pass.
Why are we in the top 10 of everything?
Because we the best. That's why.
No, we're the worst. That's why you got to get that real water.
But North Las Vegas actually came in 8th as well. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it still passes the inspection.
How does that really, I mean, what is that, 20 miles difference maybe? And how is it from 3rd to 8th? Why does that, I mean, what are they doing up there?
Maybe it's the pipeline and stuff like that. I don't know. The water pipes. Who knows?
I think somebody just has too much time on their hands.
Hey, I didn't write this article. I just read it.
So what else you got going on? Anything?
That's all I got. What you got going on?
Well, obviously it's Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Happy 14th, excuse me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And across the United States and other places around the world, candy, flowers, gifts are exchanged between loved ones, but not Chakits family. And you know what? Approximately 150 million Valentine cards are exchanged annually, making Valentine's Day the second most popular card-sending holiday after Christmas.
Wow.
Honestly, I think cards are great, but how many people really hold on to cards? I'm serious. Like, if I filled up... Okay, well, our producer says he does, but I can't remember a card, 5 months ago. You know what I mean? I think I put it somewhere, and I just... I get cards. If it's from my past clients, then I'm going to put that in my office, and I'm gonna let people see that.
Yeah.
That to me is very important. But if it's just like some random card like Merry Christmas, okay, you too.
Just send me some money.
Great. Also, did you know about the Valentine's Day massacre?
Nope.
Very chilling story. The gang warfare that ruled an attempt to rule streets of Chicago in the 20s. You remember hearing about this? They got it all over.
Did they make like a movie out of that back in the days?
They made a movie out of it. I'm sure the Mob Museum has got something going on with that. I mean, that's a big deal. It's either there's another way to look at it when it comes red, right? It's this. Greg's over here.
Oh no!
Also, Adam Sandler is going to be at the Joint at 7 p.m.
Pretty.
Oh,
so pretty.
Oh.
I feel pretty and witty and gay.
Sounds so creepy.
Whoa. Who was that? Was that Sandler?
That was Adam Sandler from Anger Management.
There you go. A nice little clip there, right? Also, we got Rascal Flatts, Rhythm and Roots, 17th and 18th. Woo! Greg's over here shaking his head like he's going. Greg, you going?
Not. I wish I was going to Rascal Flatts, but the 17th and the 18th, those are like, those are weekdays. I'm doing tax returns.
You got to give those IOUs out again. Tell them you'll get there next week. No?
Ooh.
You can't turn down money, huh?
No, I need those people to bring their tax returns in. In fact, I need you to bring your tax return in, Dan.
About that.
We're going to work on that. Yeah.
I'm going to say something about this, too. Taxes, right now, Greg's going to save you a ton of money if you listen to the show. Right, Greg?
Right. That's what we're all about.
Are you sure you want to do his taxes? The last time he filed was like 4 years ago.
Extension.
Yeah. He's got refunds that he's keeping them out there.
Right.
He's going to use it for a down payment on a new house.
I never understood you work harder, but you pay more into taxes. How does that work? I don't get that. I can't get somebody to explain that to me.
You work harder. You make more money. And yes, you give a piece back to your uncle, but you buy more stuff in the economy.
But I look at the amount of taxes that I pay. Do you know how much stuff I can buy in the economy for what I'm paying? I'm telling you, I could buy a lot of things for that. I mean, it starts to accumulate. I mean, if you had one person out there where you're making one amount of money or an annual income of money that is taxed the same, which obviously it's not going to happen. But man, I would have, a decent,
a nice vacation.
Yeah, I could do something with it.
Yeah.
There's that extra car you always talk about, right?
I read in a paper the other day that most Americans will pay more than 30% of their income just to Uncle Sam. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
So it's like you're working a quarter of the year just to pay taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, between the taxes that you pay for Uncle Sam, and we don't have a state income tax here, but we have sales tax, we have property taxes. Yeah, it ends up being a substantial amount of your income.
Yeah, and you go to California. Ooh, to talk about taxes.
Yeah.
Now you're in another level. I mean, you're talking about income taxes. You're talking about state taxes. You're talking about federal taxes. I mean, what do they not tax you in California for? Everything? I mean, you breathe. If you're breathing, you're paying taxes on it. That air, that's our air. You got to pay taxes on
That's expensive.
Also, I got something here. CNN reports the latest data from the IRS finds that the top 10% of Americans make $128,000 in minimum adjusted gross income. Did you know that?
Ooh, that sounds awful high to me.
Yeah.
But that sounds very good. I like it.
I think they're trying to make things better than what they really are. Versus the $429,000 for the top 1% and $1.9 million for the top 0.10%. You're looking at 1%, you would need to be above the $9.5 million annual income a year. Chuck, are you almost there?
I'm working it. Almost there.
Almost.
Are you like third level or second tier? Where are you at?
Well, don't worry about that, but we got to get the producer. We got to sell him a house so that way I can get there.
Oh, he's trying to buy. Well, we need to talk after the show.
I know. What are we talking about, 2-3 million?
I don't know. I think he's got that money, though. He's got it pocketed somewhere.
On a producer's salary.
Isn't it under the mattress?
Hey, it's all right. We got a tax guy here. We'll take care of that.
Yeah. Inflate those numbers. All right. So let's look at if it's true that, in sunny states or sunny cities, they say that, and when they say they, there's been a study that says that if it's a sunny city or state, there's mortgage applications are higher in those states or cities than other states.
Is it because people are more out doing things?
I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm getting so many mortgage applications because it's been sunny for the last 2 weeks. So I guess that's what it is. I don't know. But I did see an increase. So I guess it just goes with your mood.
Well,
anything you do in life, is it sunny? Let's go do something. If it's not, I'm staying in.
So imagine
Netflix.
Imagine if you lived in Seattle where it just constantly rains, or in Hilo. How depressing would that be? You never do anything.
It's all cloudy and rainy all the time. Or Seattle, right? Also, HSBC on Friday reached a series of settlements involving $601 million, with federal and state regulations and law enforcement agencies to end a U.S. probe into allegations of its mortgage origination, servicing, and foreclosure practices. It's crazy because there's still, banks out there paying out large amounts of money to settle with some of these consumers that they were done wrong.
And this is what got us into a recession. And now they're making the payments, and we may be coming into a recession again.
You know who's really benefiting from all this, too, is attorneys. Goldman Sachs is also a part of one, and they're just benefiting quite a bit from going through these lawsuits and then representing the consumer, and they're making a mint.
Yeah.
Also, did you hear about Quicken Loans?
What's going on?
Quicken Loans was in the news. They said they can do an 8-minute mortgage origination approval loan.
In 8 minutes?
8 minutes.
How long does it take you?
Oh, it takes me like 45 days. Hey, but here's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
The next one that's going to come out, I guess they were possibly going to get in trouble by the CFPB.
Yeah.
But apparently what's happened is they're coming out with a new one that I think it's going to come out next year, where if you just take your fingertip and you get your fingerprint, you're going to have loan docs at title the next day.
Oh, that's pretty quick.
Yeah. I'm just playing. That's not happening. I was a joke, Chuck.
I got 10 of them. I'll be like, blip, 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 blip.
Oh, that's funny. Also, Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen told Congress on Wednesday global economic troubles and the recent sell-off in stocks could rattle the U.S. economy, raising the prospect of a delay in interest rates and interest rate hikes.
They ain't going to hike up the interest rates. And we talked about this. If they do, what's going to take place right now, they're going to end up probably dropping it back to zero. But if they go down to negative, QE4. I called it.
Hey, we talked about that. And we already talked to somebody from the UNLV economic department. They said that that's probably not going to happen. They've been promising this that the rates are going to go up, so they got to honor that, right?
That's not true.
Well, we'll see what happens. Whether the Fed will bump up its benchmark interest rate again in March after lifting it in December for the first time in 9 years, we'll have to wait and see. But her remarks suggested overseas weakness and market distress could threaten the Fed's plans to raise the rate gradually this year, including an increase at its March 15th and 16th meeting. I don't know what's going to happen. I think it has a chance, but I mean, when you look at the global economic picture, I don't think that we're in a position at this point where you hear all these things that's going on, the negative interest rate, China having problems. It doesn't show that, with import and export relating to that, especially with oil prices staying low, I really think it's not going to happen, I guess.
Yeah, but when she was at the meeting with Congress, she did mention that we may have to drop it back down to 0.
Right.
So
we'll see. Also, if you guys have any questions regarding financing or real estate, give us a call in studio, 702-216-3907. Again, that number, I'm going to throw it out there, 702-216-3907. That's my direct line. Also, if you want to call me in studio, 257-5396 is the in-studio line if you want to give us a call. And I also want to bring on Greg here in a second. But I wanted to tell everybody out there, if you have any questions pertaining to maybe getting a free IDX tool, and you want to try to see if you can get that and we can get you registered for that, text 6682 to 55,000.
What is the IDX tool?
Well, what that is it allows you to text any property anytime, and you can get all the information as if you were on the MLS, but it's pulled right to your phone through texting.
So it's no hassles. You don't have to deal with the agent. You just go up, pull up to a home. You like the address, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. And it pulls everything. Property address, price, location, amenities, You know what I like about that? It will tell you if the property is in contingent, pending, or it's already sold status. You need to know this. Yes. Let's go over, talk over to Greg here. And we're going to be on break here in a second, but we're going to bring Greg Sinacori from Kilburn and Kian CPA here in a second. Wanted you to stay tuned for that. Stay tuned also. We're going to talk about housing market statistics, and I'm going to go over why oil affects mortgage interest rates and why things are at where the rates are in the high threes right now. It's pretty good. So we'll be right back. It's Dan French.
You're listening to the Market Snapshot with Dan French from Nova Home Loans. Got a question about home financing or real estate? Call Dan now, 702-257-KDWN.
Welcome back. This is Dan French with the Market Snapshot from Nova Home Loans. Wanted to tell everybody out there you can reach us in studio, 702-257-5396. Any questions, financing or real estate? You can also stream us live on the KDWN website. Also, we have an app that KDWN offers that you can stream us there as well. Really, there's no excuse, right, Chuck? I mean, if you want to get a hold of us, which I think you should, I think everybody should, right, Greg?
Yeah, they should be asking about why can't I get a new home and get a loan?
And from people like us, we're just like anybody else, right?
That's right.
You know, I mean, Chuck, he wakes up every day and eats his Cheerios, just like everybody else, right, Chuck?
I just rolled out of bed, actually.
He eats his Cheerios and then he gets a Rockstar, and he's ready to go.
I actually mix the Cheerios with the Rockstar.
You got to upgrade them, man. Cheerios is going to set you up, but Wheaties is going to put you through.
Oh.
You got to get Wheaties. Everybody knows that.
I noticed you're getting bigger arms. Is that the reason why?
I'm just like cutting my my fat intake, or my calorie intake to cut fat, so it's actually showing muscles now. Before it was just all like, he's just there.
Hey, man, I can kind of see that sprout going on, man. Hey, that Rogain's working, ain't it?
It is. You got to do it twice a day, though. You do it once, you're not going to get it.
You know what? I'm kind of patchy right here, so I'm going to have to put some right here, man, so I can get that beard.
It might work.
It might.
It might work. But then what if you get that chia pet thing that starts to grow and outgrow your other hair? Then what are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm going to have to level it all off.
Got to get a lawnmower on that thing.
There you go. A weed whacker.
We're going to be Greg Sinacori from Kilburn and Kian CPA. This guy is a master at doing taxes. I mean, he's like one of those ninjas that they can dissect everything, and all he does is just come in and right away. I mean, I sit down from A to Z. He knows where I'm at. He's one person that could just look at somebody and read what's going on with them.
So this guy can beat up the IRS, then basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
All right, Greg. So here's what I'm going to say. When filing your tax returns, there are a lot of ways to hurt your chances of becoming a homeowner. Many have educated themselves on how to file taxes when purchasing a home, but there's still concern on what to claim when filing. If you're looking to buy a home, then you need to talk with your CPA, Greg, and make sure you are only writing off money necessary to help you approve for the highest loan amount possible.
I know this happens a lot, especially with the people that are in the industry,
yes.
Hospitality.
Yes.
They make all this money, cash, but they don't file it.
Right.
And this happens a lot.
It does happen a lot. Greg, what is your take on it?
Well, they're hurting themselves by not claiming those tips on their tax return. If they know, here we are on the 14th of February, taxes are due by April 15th. You've got your tax return. You're getting all your 1099s and your W-2s and all that stuff right now. And yes, if you're getting some cash off the books, but you're thinking about getting getting out of that apartment and getting a new home this year, well, you want to claim you want to make sure that you get that claimed and you get that you can get the home that you really deserve.
Yeah.
So how does one know exactly how much they would actually have to file for in order to get a home? Like, where would you actually start?
Well, I don't think anybody goes and starts and says, this is how much I need to qualify for or put into my taxes so I can qualify. It's about just doing the right thing at the right time. You have to claim what you made. I mean, you can't inflate it. You're not going to say, well, I made 80,000, but I'm going to show I made 100, but I don't have proof of it. You can't do that.
Well, I understand that, but you can make 100, but sometimes people only claim 80,000.
Well, here's the problem. Everybody does that to write off
to keep their tax low
and get a return
and to get a refund possibly.
That's what they want.
But it obviously it hurts you if you decide to get a home.
Yes, it hurts you.
And what I'm trying to get to is that if you're in that position, the first thing that you need to do is take a look at the type of home that you want to buy, the location, and see what the average price point is. Then probably from there, speak to a lender and say, hey, how much is my payment going to be?
Well,
and from there, am I happy?
That might be putting the cart before the horse, though, and I'm going to tell you why. Why would you want to look at homes that maybe you can't qualify for?
Well, that's you're doing your research, because what happens if you only file 30,000, but the home that you want to buy is in a different location? You can't afford that type of home, so you really want to set yourself up for success.
Yes,
Greg, go ahead and let me ask you a quick question on this. So you have a person come in, and their indication would be, you know what, I'm thinking about buying a home this year, but I still want to get a nice tax return. What is your take on that?
Well, they need to show everything and get their best refund they can then, and make sure they have that refund available to put down as a down payment on that house. And then realize that after they get that house, they're going to have mortgage interest that is deductible. They're going to have property taxes that's deductible. They might have mortgage insurance premiums that can be a deduction on their tax return. Mm-hmm. So now they are going to get even a bigger refund probably, because they're going to have their same income level, but they're going to things that, when you're just throwing that rent money away, you don't get any tax deduction for it.
Absolutely.
But when you're paying the mortgage premium on your house, and you're paying the principal and interest, you don't get to deduct the principal, but you get that interest deduction. That's going to help you out a lot. When you also, in the tax extender bill, we now have the sales taxes back in again.
Okay.
Well, when you're out there buying appliances for that house, you're going to be paying sales tax on it, yes, but you're going to get that as a deduction.
Is that for the first year, or is that continuous?
Right now, we have the sales tax extender is only for 2015 and 2016.
Okay.
But, it's been extended now again. Hopefully Congress in the future, since we don't have a state income tax, they give Nevadans that sales tax.
So what you're saying is you go out and buy a $2,000 TV and it's an appliance. Can you write that off?
Well, you can't write off the appliance, no, but the sales tax that you paid on that $2,000 TV at 8.15%.
Yes,
you're getting that as
that's stuff I didn't know.
Didn't you just buy a 65-inch TV?
Yeah, and I want to get that sales tax write-off now. Yeah. That's what I'm going to bring. Do I need to bring in a receipt or anything? Or
sure, bring me the receipt on that. Yeah, we'll get that sales tax on there. Did you buy a new vehicle this past year also?
No, I paid my vehicle off. Good. I didn't want to buy a new vehicle this year.
I paid my vehicle off.
I did. Come on, Chuck. But anyways, let me say this, okay? So if you come in and you say, I want to, let's see how somebody structures this. I'm somebody that is a first-time home buyer, don't really know anything about taxes, don't know anything about write-offs. And I sit down and I say, Greg, now last year I wrote off, X amount of dollars and I got a nice refund. But I'm planning to buy here this year a home. How do you start that conversation with a client?
I'm going to start with we want to make sure that we've got all your income showing on your tax return, because when you bring that into Dan to qualify for the home loan, he's going to need to know how much all your income is. And yes, we have, we had legitimate deductions that we took off.
Right.
And yes, you got this refund and you're putting it in the bank so that you can buy that house. We're going to stick with that same routine. Yes.
So I have a lot of things that come up. All right. Here's the questions that I get in home financing. Okay. The first question I typically get, there's a difference between the S-corp and just the C-corp. Okay. I get a lot of questions that says, can I use the C-corp business income? And I'm going to say majority of the time, no.
You are correct. Majority of the time, no. You're going to use any of that C-corp income, you're going to have to bonus out and take it as W-2 or pay a dividend and claim it and claim that income as to get the profits out of the corporation and be able to put that down on your personal income tax return as income to you. The S-corp is different. Yes. If you've set up as an S-corp, then you're going to get a K-1 out of that S-corp, and it's kind of like a 1099. Any of the profit that you had in that S-corp during 2015 is going to flow out to you on that K-1. It's going to show up on your tax return. You're going to get to count that as income towards the new loan that you're trying to get.
Well, I can also say this, when I come in and they say, well, the income that I had from this is all the income that I show. Well, obviously there's a case-by-case situation, so I can run it by an underwriter, but I'm going to still say it's very hard. A lot of times what C-corps do is if you own your own C-corp, you pay yourself a W-2 out of that, and you pay yourself, so you can only qualify on that income that you have through the C-corp.
On the W-2. That
exactly.
is correct, yeah. Where if you're planning that, hey, this year I'm thinking about in 2016 buying a house, then yeah, you might want to think about some of those retained earnings that are sitting in that C-corp, passing them out either to that owner as a bonus or passing it out to them as a dividend from the C-corp. And then the dividend shows up on their income tax return for 2016, or the W-2 shows up on the 1040 also.
Absolutely. Also, I get another question. When write-offs occur and I have to address them with my CPA, how does this hurt you as a consumer? Well, obviously the write-offs we just talked about are big, but let's talk about how it affects you in the mortgage side of it. So you're a CPA and you say, okay, we've maximized your write-offs. You're going to get a nice tax return, but you come in and meet with me. You got 2106 business expenses on your taxes, or you're showing a loss, or you write off. Let's say you make $100,000 from your C-corp and you write it off down to 20,000, or S-corp, excuse me. You write it down to 20,000. You're only getting that 20,000, and that's if you didn't decline more than 25% year over year.
Well, you're okay. You had your S-corp had $100,000 worth of income, but the write-offs and expenses in there for vehicle, for office, for computers, for utilities and rent and everything brought you down to $20,000. That's right.
That's what we're using.
You're going to pay tax on 20, and we're only going to, Nova Home Loans and Dan French are only going to apply $20,000 toward that new loan.
That's it.
So let me ask you this. Okay, let's say if I'm an S-corp and also I pay myself, but then I come to you and I say, hey, here's my W-2s and here's my other forms with my S-corp. Do you combine those two together?
You can, yes.
Okay. Just want to clarify that.
Now, here's the thing. If you're declining more on the S-corp income than 25%, we can't use that income. So if you say you made on the S-corp $50,000 and then you show you only made 20 the next year, that's a huge decline.
Yeah.
That's a huge risk, and that's usually something that's not going to have the underwriter say, yeah, we can use it. Big problem there. Also, I want to talk about, there's questions surrounding partnerships and how to find out how much income you can use from that. Now, within a partnership, first off, let's talk about K-1 statements. What what are K1 statements and what are the schedules that get that?
Okay, the K1, you get a K1 out of a S-corp that we just talked about, or you get a K1 from the partnership. And what that K1 really is, it's like a 1099 that you would receive from your bank for interest or from your broker for stock trades or anything. A 1099 reports to you how much income you received and what other things were. And the K1 is a detailed 1099. Your share of the profit, if you were a 25% partner, you get 25% of the profit flowing out to you. There may be some deductions that were not taken at the partnership level that may flow out to you on that K1. Capital gains as income, dividends that the partnership had, you get 25% of that. And interest income, 25%. And there could be some deductible items that flow out to you on that K1 also. Yes.
So let's say this. If you're in a partnership, if you come in and you get a mortgage from me, I can only use a portion of that partnership depending on how much you own of it. Now, obviously, if it's 100%, we're good. You come in and you only own 25%, I can only extract 25% of the income of whatever you claimed. Let's say you write off down to 20 or 30,000. Well, guess what? That 30,000, you're only going to get 25%.
$7,500.
That's all you're making for that income for that business. So you got to be you really got to understand the process of when you're buying a home, considering buying a home, running a business. You really have to have a good CPA behind you to put that picture in front of you that says, look, what is your goals? And here's how we're going to accomplish them. Because if you get into it and you're trying to structure things and you have big plans for a specific year and you don't set yourself up for success, then you're going to be at the wayside. You're not going to get the things that you want. You're not going to get a loan that you were looking for. And chances are you're waiting 12 more months so you can try to claim your taxes for the next year to see if you can do it.
So to get a loan, do you normally take a look at the 2 years of tax income, or can you just use 1 year?
Not always. I'm not going to get into the layers of loans, but you can do just W-2 income. You know, I like to get tax returns, make sure that there's nothing against them. Sometimes you can just do 12 months, but you got to have a history of doing that employment. Now, again, it's a case-by-case situation because a lot of times, you know, on those S-corps and things like that, reason why we're using 12 months is because they probably have either taken a decline in income or there's some reason behind it. Maybe they wrote off a lot of income like we talked about, and now they did that in, say, 2014. Now 15, they show a huge increase. Well, we don't want to reflect the 24 months of that income because it's going to drastically drop their income from that S-corp.
Greg, could they actually go back and refile?
Well, you can always amend a tax return, yes, but again,
takes a long time.
You're drawing attention to yourself,
Gotcha.
And you need a real good reason for. So and you're extending the statute on that tax return.
Did you file over 500 of those last year, Greg?
Of the S-corps or the individual
extensions
of the amended tax returns? No. I try to keep that.
Hold on, wait a second. I got something coming up here, Greg. Oh, never mind. I'll get to that later, Greg.
No.
All right. So
weren't you in that pile?
No, I erased myself. I put myself under a different name. I'm under Whitey.
So when do you actually got to file your taxes by?
Okay. Coming up here, March 15th, yes, we've got the deadline for C-corps and S-corps by March 15th. By April 15th, you have individuals, which everybody knows about.
Yep.
You've got trusts and partnerships. Perfect. And you can file for an extension. It's not an extension of time to pay, though, Dan. It's an extension of only filing the forms.
How many extensions can you get in a year, Greg? Because I'm thinking about optimizing that. So,
well, it used to be you could get 2 extensions. Now you can only get 1.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's kind of like a bus pass.
I want to see if I can get it all the way. Because I think there's like a fine, right? After what, the 14th or the 15th of April?
If you don't pay your tax by the 15th of April for 2015, yes, you're going to be in a penalty situation, and interest starts ticking on that also. Yeah.
Do you see most of the consumers filing now or more towards the end of the deadline?
Okay. In my situation, because most of my clients have a small business, usually an S-corp. So right now we're getting the S-corp knocked out by the 15th of March.
Okay.
And then individual tax returns for those people between March 15th and April 15th. Yes. It's a 24/7 operation to get all those individual returns filed. That
So
is
when
correct.
you actually get a refund, you can use that as a down payment, right?
Absolutely. We got a lot of those people doing that right now. And I have people calling me going, I was going to go and do the Home as Possible program. And in some cases, it might be better not to because you can use the down payment and get a better interest rate.
And you're not restricted.
So here's the thing. Is it acceptable? Absolutely. If you have any questions about it, I'd like to talk with you outside studio. You can reach me 781-6682. Again, this is Dan French with the Market Snapshot here every Sunday from 11 to 1 p.m. on News Talk Radio, KDWN. And I also want to say, if you want to tweet us a question, we can be tweeted. Do you still tweet, Chuck?
No, not anymore.
781-NOVA. That's where you can go and find us. So again, we're talking here with Greg Sinacori from Kilburn Kian CPA. And if you have a question in studio, you can reach us at 702-257-5396. Again, 702-257-5396. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone that's out there. Everyone should be wearing red. Chuck, you didn't wear red today. You're in yellow and tattoos.
You ain't wearing red. What are you talking about?
I got red socks.
Let's see it.
I can't show you right now. Greg, are you wearing red today?
No,
Nope.
but I got my San Diego Charger socks on.
Oh, it's about the
There you
Chargers.
go.
It's about the Chargers. Chuck, didn't you say you were a Raiders fan?
No, I don't watch football. You know that.
Aren't they rivaling for a stadium right now?
I don't know. Are they?
I think so. So you guys going to talk about that after the show too?
Are we talking about like soccer football or football?
No, Chuck. Chuck's a big silver fan.
And gold.
Silver and that's why I gave him the Raiders because
Silver and black.
on his days off. He'll be Saturday night about 10 o'clock. He'll be looking at investment properties and looking at the cost of what silver and gold will be.
Gold's on the rise.
And then
Broke 1,200.
And then he'll text me in the midnight and say, "Did you know that silver has increased?"
Dan, you better buy now. Because I'm buying $100
And I'll be
bar.
like, and I'll just respond back with question marks like, "Are you asleep yet?" Anyway, so also on February 1st, Fannie Mae is making the following changes to their self-employment income guidelines. Unless the borrower has a history of receiving cash distributions of income from the business, the income shown on the K-1 may not be used to qualify, and this is something new. Now, we can still get it done through we have Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Freddie Mac still allows this, but if you're trying to go Fannie Mae because of a certain reason, well, it's not going to work in a lot of cases if you don't show the cash distributions.
Yeah.
So that's new. That's big because that could affect your loan. I mean, if I approved you and let's say, there's two ways to approve somebody on a conventional level, through Freddie Mac or through Fannie Mae. And if Fannie Mae doesn't, that means I'm limited. And if Fannie Mae is saying, we got restrictor guidelines, guess what? What if Freddie Mac doesn't like you because they look at things they're basically the same, but they do have subtle differences and they look at things differently just a bit. And if Freddie Mac doesn't accept you, guess what? You can't get a loan if you're trying to do a conventional loan. That's the income you're using. So that's big. You got to pay attention to these things because if you're really somebody out there that's a business owner, this is a show that you want to tune into, especially if you're looking and getting extended credit. It's not just for mortgages. It could be for other reasons, and you might want to ask these questions. Let's say if you're getting into a car or something else, is there any restrictions,
Mm-hmm.
So, right, Greg?
So when I'm coming to apply for a home loan, I should get a new car loan, you just said?
Absolutely. At the same time as you getting a home loan, you should get a car loan. And you know what that'll do? That house you just put an offer in on, you're going to now get canceled.
Okay, got it.
So here's what you want to do. When you get into a loan, you definitely want to talk to me about how you're filing your taxes. If let's say you've given me your tax returns and I can't find out, or I really can't get you where you need to be. Let's just say you're looking for $200,000 purchase amount and I only qualify you for $150,000. You might want to have that conversation with me and say, hey, I'm going to talk to Greg. What do I need to talk to Greg about? And how much income do I need to increase on? Because it's communication, but that's going to allow you to buy that home. If you just keep doing the same thing over and over and you don't have the right questions to ask, you're going to have a problem.
And I notice a lot of people, when I speak to them now, they're like, hey, I'm just going to file my taxes. But I explain to them, like, hey, if you file what you filed last year, then you're not going to still be able to get a home. You're going to be in the same rut that you're currently in.
Absolutely.
So it's very important that you get this information.
Yes.
And that's one of the first questions I ask. Did you file taxes yet?
Yeah.
And if they say yes, the first thing I ask, how much did you file for?
Well, and here's the thing. If you think you're going to go back to 2012 or 13 and say, yeah, I'm going to use those tax returns, we're not going to give you a loan. You have to file up-to-date information with the with the IRS before we're going to even consider you getting a loan. I've had people, I'm self-employed and I didn't file anything because I know I'm going to owe a bunch of money and I haven't filed for 3 years. Guess what? Go file your tax returns and get it up to date because I'm not going to be able to extend credit to you unless you get that done.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Steve.
That's a big thing, right?
Get them in here, get those 3 years worth of tax returns filed, and let's get them a home loan.
One thing I want to say about Greg's very reliable. He's very good at what he does. He's very efficient. He knows all the loopholes, right?
Yeah, the loopholes.
Yeah. You see how red he got? he gave you the big eye. He's like, ah.
Greg, aren't you teaching a class about loopholes after this?
No, that would be the legal guy that you're going to bring in here next. He's got the legal loopholes.
That's a special Valentine's Day loophole for taxes after this with Greg Sinacori.
But I'm sure that there are laws that are put in place for tax benefits where you can leverage out. And I know it's a lot of corporations do that too as well.
They do, but I think it's more of a case-by-case situation, and it's more on a Greg's got to make that decision if it's legal or not. So anyways, Greg, how can somebody get a hold of you if they wanted to talk with you about taxes? Give it to them.
Kilburn and Lean CPAs, area code 702-597-1945, or Greg at hilburn-lean.com.
That guy right there will take care of your taxes. Give him a call. This is Dan French with the Market Snapshot. We'll be right back. We have housing market statistics still coming up. Also, we're going to talk about how oil affects mortgage interest rates. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.